How's it going, folks? We are Gnome. Haven't been on with you in a minute. Wanted to give a little quick shout out. Figured this was easier to kind of make a video rant about rather than typing in a 12 paragraph thing that people are just going to say, yeah, that's too long, I'm not going to read that. So, what's on my mind today is I found out about a show that I'm supposed to be playing. What is it supposed to be? It was supposed to be in about 2 weeks. Kind of a big one, especially for me. Found out that that show got canceled. And the reason that it got canceled has to do with lack of ticket sales, or, lack of just being able to secure the funding to make sure the show is going to happen. I understand this quite well. A lot of people tend to wonder, if it's just a greed thing or whatever when places talk about canceling because they didn't get enough money ahead. But a lot of tours charge, a guarantee ahead of time in order to secure their ability to stop in that area. So therefore the venues have to transfer that cost on to the fans in order to make a show happen. So when venues say that, they're going to have tickets for sale, they're oftentimes doing pre-sale tickets to cover some of those costs in order to justify having the show. And when they don't have enough money to do that, or if that money that they normally have as kind of a buffer is kind of eaten into, and it kind of jeopardizes their ability to have other shows coming up around that, sometimes they'll cancel a show. And, sometimes they have to do a cancellation fee in order to do that, but a lot of times that cancellation fee costs far less than their gamble to have a show that nobody shows up for, and then they just lose all that money entirely. One of the things that kind of sucks that venues and bands kind of have to put on you as a fan is we do really hope that you buy tickets. And I know a lot of people like to wait until the day of, or they like to wait until they go right to the show, or they don't like putting their credit card info in online, or they don't want to try to hunt down somebody to try to buy a ticket off them, or whatever excuse it is. But, seeing the show get canceled and seeing a flood of comments online saying, that they're really disappointed that the show got canceled, and that there's people that were going to drive over several states or travel from afar to come to the show, and now it's canceled and everybody's bummed out. You almost have to think that you're just going to have to get a ticket ahead of time. It sucks to put that obligation on the fans, especially when we're kind of used to more of a climate where, like movies. A lot of people can buy tickets ahead of time, and some people will buy tickets ahead of time to make sure they don't lose out on going to the movie when they want to go. But a lot of people just expect to just show up, pay for it, get in, and have the fun. So it is kind of a catch-22, but what kind of has to happen, and I don't know if this is like a lesson to be had or something to at least keep in mind, is if there's a show like this that you really want to go to and you feel like you need to put your support in ahead of time in order to keep it, from getting canceled, then please do go out and buy a ticket, or figure out how to pay for your spot ahead of time, and encourage the people that that are going to go to that show to throw down ahead of time as well. The other kind of necessary evil as far as the ticket sales go, and I know this is kind of taboo with a lot of musicians and everything, a lot of bands and musicians kind of rely on being able to get paid, whether it's a little or a lot, it doesn't really matter. They rely on being able to get paid by having ticket sales. And, for example, this band that I was to go over to play with, I usually don't expect much, but I am the one member in the band that travels 300 miles in order to play those shows. And, I do this with the understanding and knowing that I'm possibly not going to be reimbursed at all for my gas and for my travels. But being able to do well and actually do that as far as selling some tickets or showing that we are able to bring people to the show or whatever does reflect back to the band in not only our ability to keep getting on more shows that we or the public feel should be on, but it also makes it to where we make that little bit of money that lessens the pain of all the groundwork that goes into us being a part of that show, such as a bass player driving from 300 miles away to play. By all means, I don't do what I do to get paid. It would sure be great, but it's not realistic at this point. But it does require a lot of work and a lot of effort and a lot of money in order to make things happen. So even though I don't expect to get, this hefty amount of money in order to do what I do like to get paid when I can in order to lessen the costs of doing that. And I'm not the only one. I'm just speaking for my example. But when bands are hoping to make a few dollars at a show in order to even just go have, a pile of tacos after the gig, or be able to put that initial investment into some more merch so they can sell things to you and have things to offer to you at the shows next time around, a little bit adds up. It always helps. And when people are not buying tickets from the bands, it makes that an even more difficult uphill stream to try to swim up. To everybody that is upset that their show that they wanted to go to or the show that they wanted to play is canceled, just remember, if the venue is selling tickets or doing any kind of pre-sales, to get on it. It's just something that's kind of necessary. Because sometimes the venue is relying on that, and if they can't forecast that they're going to make enough money for that show, they'll just cancel it, and then everybody's upset. And this would have been a good show, and I know that there's a lot of people that wanted to go to it. Maybe, I don't know, maybe not enough to actually justify all the costs of it or whatever, but it would have been a pretty good one. And I hope they come around again soon. Hopefully we get the other opportunity down the road. Guess we'll see. But until then, yep, don't want to bore you too much, but this is something that, in my opinion, kind of makes sense. It isn't necessarily the best way, in a perfect world, everybody would just be able to get whatever bands they want and come to the show however they please and enjoy the show however they want. Not everybody has the ability to do that. And until then, there's a little bit of politics that go into it. Hopefully, if you didn't understand some of that on how it works, I shed just, a granule of light on how it works to where you can take a step back and think and go, maybe that band I want to see isn't going to do so well on pre-sale tickets, so maybe they might get canceled. I guess I'll buy a ticket. There's been other shows I played that they didn't cancel a show and they lost their ass because nobody showed up, nobody got the tickets. And now that promotion can probably not afford to bring that kind of show back ever again. So do your best to support your scene. I know everybody's always really excited to go out and spend $100 on tickets to go see some epic star and then complain about $10 to go see a local show or $20 to go see a mid-level show or whatever. If you have any interest in it, you have the ability to go, and it's not something that's going to put you off, and you do have an inkling of interest in supporting it, then please do. Please do it ahead. Otherwise, that could just fall out like this show. So hope you're all doing well. If you got any comments or questions, leave them down in the business down here. Make sure you like and subscribe the video, and I hope to see you again soon. I'm going to try to do more of these a little more consistently with little bits of free time that I got. Enjoy it.